It's common for famous people's transformations to be scrutinized, raising the possibility that they had to be under the scalpel. Not surprisingly, many people acknowledge having undergone certain aesthetic procedures or treatments to improve their appearance, while others refuse to admit that they sought professional help to resolve a specific problem. However, models are possibly more judged for their aesthetic procedures. This is the case for Bella Hadid, who for years has been scrutinized for the aesthetic procedures she could have had done. But were those procedures her own decision, or was it her mother, Yolanda Hadid, who forced her to undergo these changes? Stay to find out. Bella Hadid, one of the most recent to reveal her aesthetic operations, has expressed her dissatisfaction with the fact that she's surrounded by them. Since becoming well-known thanks to her sister Gigi Hadid's fame and her work on runways, the young woman has had to deal with a slew of negative comments about her physical appearance. Now, in an interview with the magazine Vogue, she's shown herself to be more sincere than she's ever been, denying all rumors. The 25-year-old model told the cited media many of the beauty secrets that help her maintain a near-perfect face, and not all of them have anything to do with surgery. However, the detail that has gotten the most attention is her powerful revelation about the operation to which she was subjected when she was just 14 years old. A rhinoplasty that, as she has stated, she regrets very much, but which was done because of the inferiority complex she had regarding her sister, Gigi. We can agree that a 14-year-old girl is not mature enough to make these kinds of decisions, but we'll get to that point later. "I wish I'd kept the nose of my ancestors," she said, referring to her dad Mome Hadid of Palestinian descent. "I think I would have grown into it." However, people's comments about her physical appearance have not stopped throughout her career, and she's told how they've affected her. "I was the uglier sister. I was the brunette. I wasn't as cool as Gigi, not as outgoing," Bella said. "That's really what people said about me, and unfortunately, when you get told things so many times, you do just believe it." Bella's words drew significant sympathy from concerned fans as soon as they were published, who highlighted that she'd been pressed to adhere to Eurocentric beauty standards at such a young age. Bella Hadid saying she wished she kept the nose of her ancestors makes me really sad. We're out here being conditioned from the dawn of colonization to think that Eurocentric features are the pinnacle of beauty, and only later do we become aware of this, if ever, one user tweeted. Fans were mostly sympathetic to Bella's apparent erasure of a feature emblematic of her Arab heritage to conform to a Eurocentric definition of beauty, which is regrettably not uncommon in the experience of ethnic people. In addition, she shows her indignation at the fact that people invent aesthetic operations to have not been done, assuring that she's simply different because she's grown older and has developed. Hadid also addressed claims that she had had many more plastic procedures over the years, including an eye lift, jawline shave, and lip fillers, in the interview. "People think I fully messed with my face because of one picture of me as a teenager looking puffy," she said. "I'm pretty sure you don't look the same now as you did at 13, right?" Hadid added that she's never used fillers either, not because she is against them, but because they're simply not for her. "Whoever thinks I've gotten my eyes lifted or whatever it's called, it's face tape, the oldest trick in the book." She went on to say that the accusations hurt her mental health. "I've had this imposter syndrome where people made me feel like I didn't deserve any of this," she said. "People always have something to say, but what I have to say is, I've always been misunderstood in my industry and by the people around me." However, as the conversation progressed online, numerous users questioned Bella and Gigi's mother, Yolanda Hadid. Yolanda is a real celebrity and previously recognized supermodel of Dutch heritage, who was found as a teenager by Eileen Ford of Ford Models. From 1994 to 2000, she was married to Mohammed, Bella and Gigi's father. Yolanda has a reputation for obsessing over her kids' bodies, with her preoccupation with everything from what they ate to how they dressed to what sports they played recorded during 3 seasons of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Yolanda has been accused of maintaining Eurocentric beauty standards by praising Gigi's blonde hair and blue eyes and referring to her as an all-American girl on numerous occasions. During a Season 5 episode of The Real Housewives, the matriarch talked about the sisters' distinct features, referring to them as the Black Swan and the White Swan. There are the Black Swan and the White Swan, and obviously a sister is that close in age, there's always going to be competition, but Bella's going to do it her way, Yolanda said while discussing Bella's first steps into modeling. Concerning the industry's competitive business, she stated, "When somebody's looking for a brunette with blue eyes, Gigi's not going to get the job. If they're looking for an all-American girl, they're not going to hire Bella." Obviously, Yolanda is the first to create comparisons between her 2 daughters, which has affected Bella's self-esteem. Even though there is an age difference of just 18 months between them, on the catwalks, Gigi and Bella have always represented 2 radically different stereotypes, the first embodying the typical Californian blonde and the second offering a darker and more sensual image. Or at least that's how they're distinguished by fans and, of course, their family, starting with their mom. For a long time, there have been no doubts about Bella Hadid's obsessive relationship with cosmetic surgery until she got a scientifically perfect face. Dr. Julian De Silva of the Advanced Center for Plastic and Cosmetic Surgery in London used the golden ratio to prove that Bella's face was close to 95% proportionate, something that could only be accomplished with the help of the Greek gods or a skilled surgeon. However, Gigi Hadid had always stayed out of the world of cosmetic touch-ups. In her photographic trips in the past or her appearances on the Real Housewives program, the television show with which both her mother, Yolanda Foster, and they rose to fame, Gigi had always had the same nose and even the same eyebrows, another usual source of doubt on the model's face. Overcoming the controversies that classified her as a curvy model at the beginning of her career, Gigi Hadid suddenly began to lose weight, which was pointed out as a desperate measure to fit in with the canons of beauty that are demanded on the catwalks. But being faithful to her direct and open character, she announced that she had Hashimoto's syndrome, a pathology that affects the thyroid, and that it had caused it not to regulate Gigi's metabolism well. The model explained on social networks that due to this syndrome, she'd always had more curves despite the sport and strict diet that she followed, but that didn't resolve the voluptuous roundness of her face. Her high and perky cheeks or her defined but rounded facial oval are some of her most characteristic features, something that Gigi Hadid has always defended as natural. However, the possibility that the model resorted to injectable fillers regularly was a common murmur. Could it be that Yolanda forced the two to undergo aesthetic procedures? This has definitely affected Bella's emotional stability. Bella Hadid opened up about her struggle with anxiety in a super emotional post that left her crying and sad. The model shared an album that begins with a video of her friend Willow Smith talking about the importance of mental health, the insecurities that people deal with daily, such as not feeling enough, and the uncertainty of not knowing exactly what it is they would do in the world. In her message, she explained that social networks are not real, and that the best thing you can do when you don't feel well or have anxiety is to ask for help, spend some time alone, and understand your traumas, triggers, joys, and routine, so that over time, you learn more about your own pain and how to manage it. Obviously, it's very difficult to have to deal with the pressure of being perfect in such a superficial world, or so it's described, even by Bella Hadid herself. The most shocking thing is the pressure exerted on her by her own mother to fit into these stereotypes of the modeling industry. But before all this, what do you think? We want to know what you think about this, and above all, leave us your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any news like this. See you in the next video.